get a little more excited about it every year. This is just the best time of year day to be here. We were here last night, and I got to see the birth of a little calf. And then 20 minutes later, my daughter went over here to her birth concert by herself. And I don't know where else you could do that. See Happy Born, and then 100 yards away, have your daughter go to her first concert all by herself. So it was a big night for me. Thank you to the Fair Board for welcoming us again. This is always such a nice thing, and everybody really appreciates it. So they sponsor and they treat us to breakfast, so let's give them a round of applause. We have a great turnout, and I really do want to take the time for us all to stand up and introduce ourselves, but we're going to do that at the end, so nobody can leave. And we do have a wonderful 50-50. Thank you all very, very much for contributing. That goes to our scholarship fund. I don't know how much that is yet. We'll go count it up. So at this time, I'm just going to ask our caterer extraordinaire, Dan Budd, to come up and say a few words. Dan has been a long-time member. Taste Buds for Barhook. We have a special interest.
I promise there's a point to this. I like to sing a song that I wrote for my uncle. He was a really special man. He was a man whose life stopped in a way when he was 6 years old. He grew up until he was 92, but at 6 years old, his brain basically stopped at a 6-year-old. And he lived the rest of his life as a little boy. He lived with my family, and he would play with a little orchestra of dolls and listen to the Boston Pops, and he would orchestrate them. And when I got home from school, he would say, "Would you like to hear my orchestra today?" And he did that almost like every day. Music was his life. So I'm going to sing you this song, and I'll tell you the point of all this. He was a man, they say was simple. He took less than a day at a time. You could see in his eyes just what he did for. Yes, it was the sunny side of life. And I remember when I first met him, the farmer's helper by his mother's side. And I remember what my parents told me. They said, "Son is different than you and I." He always knew what was important, what came first in every second of life. It was to tell you that he loved you, and then he'd ask you again and again just how you are. And I remember when I first met him, my uncle who read his books upside down. And I remember I colored a picture for him, and he said I was the greatest artist in town. But there's one thing we all knew was sunny. It's the one thing no one can deny. Well, the throb of Sonny's life, it was music. Yes, music was the sunny side of life. And I remember They say it's simple. It took less than a day at a time. You could see in his eyes just what he lived for. Yes, it was the sunny side of life. And no one can forget a man like Sonny. If you met him, you knew you had a friend. And he tracked your life like he was an angel. Uncle Sonny loved us all until the end. Who says Fairgrounds doesn't have entertainment? I've done the breakfast for the last few years, and I talked about my business and everything, and I was driving here today, and I said, I don't really want to do that the same way. So, does anybody have any feelings from that song? It's a special song to me, and the reason I did that is because of one of the things that the Fairgrounds is about, which is the same as my business, is it's about celebrating community and entertainment, bringing people together. So at Taste Buds Cafe, you can experience what you just experienced every Thursday night. We have an open mic called Tasty Tunes, and the place is just packed with people sharing stories and songs like that. We have a story slam on the third Friday of every month with similar things. We've had really notable people, professors from Bard and people in the Hudson Valley that we never knew were here to come in and tell stories and do readings. It's been part of my not secret to success is to bring community into my business and let the community take ownership of what the cafe is all about. So that's why I did that. The other thing is, because I've met some special people here this morning, I'd like to talk just quickly about a partnership. Ramapo came to me maybe a year and a half ago, and they asked me if I would help to host a volunteer worker to come to our kitchen and our restaurant, and we said sure, and this person came in, and talk about this makes me emotional, but kind of changed our lives just like my Uncle Sonny did. She came in very sort of limited, and she walked away going to culinary school. So there's amazing things happening in our community, and it's great that you can all work together like Ramapo and I have worked together. I will say we have been busy making cream puffs, and yesterday was a great opening day for us at the fair, and I talked to a lot of my other food vendor friends, and they were very happy with yesterday. I just heard from the board that the weather's looking pretty good, so we're excited to go. I'll be giving a cooking demonstration at the harvest demonstration stage today too. Maybe I'll bring the guitar for that too. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed your breakfast, and please come back up and clean us out, and I have lots to clean up at the end. Thank you. Have a great day. Andy, I'm available for the main stage next year.
Thank you, Dan. That was a first. I like the idea. We might do a song every breakfast. At this time, I'd like to ask President of the Dutchess County Agricultural Society, Fred Battle.
Thanks, Colleen. I will start by saying that brevity is my forte, so this will be fairly quick. You people are probably like me. You don't get around to see a lot of venues like fairs, festivals. but over the last several years, I've had the assignment to, maybe for 20 years, work with all the various food vendors that come to this fair. And I believe there are over 60 right now, 60 individual different entities. Some have more than one booth. So these people, I've become friendly with them, and every year I use them as a sounding board. I touch base with them. What's new? How are we doing? How do we compare? And these people do fairs all over New York State, and in many cases all over the country. And their response is unanimous on two things. First of all, this is the most beautiful fairground in New York State. Secondly, it's the best 6-day fair in New York State. So all of you local people, business people, certainly appreciate this and spread the word. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. And Andy Imparati, General Manager here.
Good morning, everybody. You're not awake. Thank you. Welcome. It's nice to see so many of you here this morning. And because we have a 9 o'clock emergency management meeting each day of the fair, this will be short for us today. But I do have some things we would like to share with you, especially because you are businesses in the community, just like us. And I think it's important for you to know what we do, how we do it, and how you can get involved. There's been a couple of questions, and as many of you know, for the last 5 or 6 years, we've had a food coupon program. And somebody asked me this morning why it's been discontinued. Well, basically, the short story is, it caused its own extinction. It was so hard to implement and manage that most food vendors had to add a staff person to count all the tickets each day because they were a 20% savings. So that meant the fair gave 10% back and the food vendor gave 10% back. So we had to pay them at the end of the week for what their 10% was. So each day you had to count all those things. I've got two guys sitting over here that spent every day in my office for the last 5 years, and that's all they did all day long was count food coupons. So it got to be quite hazardous. So we did away with it. So what did we do to replace that? This year on our website, DutchessCare.com, we asked our food vendors to provide us with a food coupon of their choice that you can download from your computer for $1 off or 50 cents off or a free soda with your sandwich or whatever it is. So if you go to our website, you can find those, download them at your computer, bring them, walk up to the food vendor, hand them to them, and get your $1 off right here on the spot. So that's one of the things that has changed at this year's fair. The other thing we changed last night happened for the first time, and it'll happen again on Thursday night. We're doing a promotion after 5 p.m. where admission to the fair it drops to $7. So that's more than half off the admission price to get in. So I don't have yesterday's complete tally yet, but I asked the girls this morning what was the response at the gates yesterday. And at about 6 o'clock last night, I don't think, with all the advertising we did of it, I don't think a lot of people still understood what we were doing. And they got to the gate and they were expecting to pay $15 and it was only $7. And so his response was really favorable. So Thursday night we'll find out again how that works, and we hope to continue that in the future. We've handed out to you some flyers. The next project that we do here will be the train station relocation project. That building currently sits at the West Road Intermediate School in Pleasant Valley, and we have been asked to move it here and restore it like we've done with the schoolhouse. Last week, we started the process at West Road of dismantling the building. We're hopeful here that this fall it will be moved here, re-erected, and ready for next year's fair. The Dyson Foundation has issued a challenge grant to us. They're going to put up $112,500. It's about with all the landscape and everything we'd like to do, it's about a $260,000 project. So we do have a display down at the museum that shows what it will look like, artist concept drawings, etc., which is part of what your handout is. So that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully that will allow us to get another antique with us for next year for people to understand the history of art now. Tomorrow, or today actually, today's Wednesday. Pardon me, it's been a long week. Today is Ideal Country Holiday for all the kids in the county that are less fortunate and would not have the opportunity to come to the fair. So we're going to host 1,000 children today from the county free of charge. They'll get to ride the rides, they'll get t-shirts, they'll get fed for the day, and they'll come and have a great day. Between ourselves, the carnival, and our partners, we will pay for those kids to come. Each kid averages about $50 to put them through the day. So you can do the math, that's what we're doing with those kids today. So, and you can't miss them. They are in bright green shirts, so they can use their boss. So that takes care of that. So, I want to know if anybody knows, how many people here have a booth at the fair? Anybody? Okay. You folks, please don't answer this question. What would you think it costs to have a booth at the fair? Anybody got an idea? It's actually $600 for the week. It averages about $100 a day to have access to 350,000 people. We encourage you as our business partners to think about it. I don't know many other places you can get that group of people in that short time to promote your business. We'd be happy to have you here with us. Okay? So now, as like last year, I did a little trivia contest, and I've got some new things for you this year, and I'm not going to be so easy. The girls will help here. So I've got 10 questions that I'm going to ask this morning. We've got a care package back here put together. And I think there's a book in there about the history of the fair, t-shirt, there's coffee mugs, there's all kinds of stuff in these bags. So, we're going to test your IQ this morning. How many feathers do mature turkeys approximately have? And believe me, this is part of a scavenger hunt we're doing this year, but our 4-H kids know the answers to these questions.
1,000,000. 20,000.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's less than 50,000. It's more than 20,000. The person who gets the number the closest is going to get the prize. 35. Who said 35,000? 35,000 feathers on a mature turkey. True or false? One cow has the same pattern of spots as another. False. That lady right there, Ricky?
I'm a farmer, I know that. Yeah, we just oh yeah, we all.
Question number 3. How many gallons on average of milk do dairy cows produce in a day? Hands, please. Anybody else got a guess? That lady right there said 6. The average is 7. Right there. So, now, gallon of milk. How many squirts are in a gallon?
35,000.
Well, I will tell you that it's less than 500 and it's more than 200. Raise your hands. Susan?
425.
350. 350, that lady was right there. Okay. How many pounds of tomatoes does the average American eat in a year? How many pounds of tomatoes does the average American eat in a year?
30.
Who said 20? The little girl over there in the pink shirt. 22 pounds. Okay. Number 6. We have on the grounds today an animal on Livestock Hill that is rather common, but it's the closest living animal to the T-Rex. Who can tell me what it is?
Chicken.
Chicken expert.
Okay, me, but I already have the bag, I'm sorry. Chicken.
Honor system here, folks. Who said it? Give it to me right here, this lady. Chicken. Who would have known? Now, there's another animal on Livestock Hill that's considered the 4th smartest animal on the planet.
Hey.
Pig. Who can tell me what New York State's flower is, official state flower? Somebody said rose over there. It's rose. You've got 2 more. True or false? Male horses have more teeth than female horses. The answer is true. Okay. Somebody guess a number between 1 and 10. 6.5. Who said 2? This gentleman right here. Last question. The elevators in the Statue of Liberty use what kind of plant-based hydraulic fluid?
Corn. Soy.
Who said soy? Right here, right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's really, well, I want to share one other thing with you. Mr. Battenfeld touched on our vendors, and I want you to know that our food vendors, which there are a total of 81 of, 43% of those are from the Hudson Valley. Our indoor and outdoor commercial vendors, of which there are 228, half of those are from the Hudson Valley. There are 22 craft vendors in the craft tent, 50% of those are from the Hudson Valley. The distinctly Dutchess tent, how many of those are from the Hudson Valley? And our specialty foods in the Grange building, there's 27 of them in there, 52% of those are from the Hudson Valley. So we're very lucky to have what we have here. We have a variety of outstanding businesses, which you are part of, and we pride ourselves that we incorporate as many of those as we can in our fair. Does anybody have any questions about the fair or what goes on or how we do? Yes, ma'am. Last year our attendance was 432,000 people in 6 days. About half come from outside of Dutchess County. And they'll come from as far as Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all of New England. And there are some, obviously, we've got visitors today from California, from another fair actually, that wanted to come see our fair. So I will be spending the day with them today. Anybody else? Okay, folks, you have a great day. Thanks for coming.
Okay, so now that everybody's finished eating, we're going to take a moment and we're going to go around, and there's a lot of them. Um, September 11th, our business after hours is going to be at Smoky Rock Barbecue. So if you have not yet been there, it's a beautiful space. They have great food and they are really generous with their samples. So come on over on Thursday, September 11th. And then the breakfast is Wednesday, September 24th at the Rhine. It's sponsored by Vicki Hack from Ameriprise Financial, and our speaker is going to be Susan Fox Rogers. She's a local author, professor at Bard. She does extensive travel and writes some blogs, but she has a new book out called The Hudson, a Memoir, and so it's about the Hudson River. So it should be at the Rhine Club, really beautiful and poignant, so hopefully you will join us for that. So the door prize, red tickets. If you haven't found them, they should be tucked in behind your name tag and your plastic badge there. And it is 2 tickets to not quite the next event, but the Rhinebeck Arts Festival, which will be happening here September 26th, 27th, and 28th. So if you're ready, Dawn. Okay. 328022. 328022. Excellent. Congratulations. Okay, and now for the big news. So this is our biggest 50-50 ever. Very excited. It was $288. So thank you all so much. The 15% portion is $144. So that's really exciting. And that goes to our scholarship fund. So I'm going to ask Fred to choose.
Come on, Freddie, do it for me.
Okay. 591282. 591282. Oh, congratulations. Thank you very much. He says it's going to front foot wars, but he's reading it with me, so I'm not sure about that. So anyway, thank you all so much. Please enjoy the fair. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Visit the vendors, visit Maureen, and we will see you hopefully on September 11th. And Dan wasn't kidding when he said, please finish this up.